Hey, what's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fred Lennart, Subprime Hero.
And we are Brewing Solutions, and we are excited to be brewing solutions with you and this superstar right here, the one,
The only
April Simmons. There she is.
With my favorite people.
That's right. We are excited to have you. And one of the favorites of this event is you. You are on panels, you're on main stage, little rooms, and on our wee little podcast, you are giving us a little bit of time. We're excited that you are having some fun with us, but what is the energy like for you jumping from place to place to place and discussion to discussion, person to person? What has this whirlwind been like for you?
Oh, I absolutely love it. And I think that, what I love the most about it is just the energy of the people. We talk about how we love the people, it's about the people. I mean, part of the reason I'm in all these sessions is I have a problem. I can't say no. I learned that that's really what my issue is. But I think that it's important for more dealers to get involved in the conversations. I joke sometimes that I'm the dealer mascot. I'm there to bring the real life to what maybe a vendor's talking about or what they're trying to train and explain, and I can translate it into real world. And I tell my group a lot. I think the power that what makes me good at things is my ability to translate. To take what one person says and then put it in a way to everyone else that they can actually digest. If you start using some of these acronyms and big buzzwords, it just goes over people's heads. So you got to bring it down in a way that they know and understand.
100%. It has to be a language, right? And you said it so right. The acronyms at all levels, from a vendor to a dealer, from a dealer to their salespeople, and from their salespeople to the customer. You can't talk in acronyms to customers. They have no idea what a PEI, UCI. They don't know what all this stuff is.
Right.
Even F&I, they just kind of have an idea of what that is. So let's just speak what it is. We're going to go talk to the finance manager. Let's get a pre-delivery inspection on our vehicle. We do used car inspections. Whatever it is, they want to know that. When you use those words, though a little bit longer, it has more clout to people, especially the ones who don't speak our car language, right? So it's really important. And then we get into the dealer level. We're talking about SVO. We're talking about all this. I mean, so many acronyms.
Nowadays, GA4, CDP, AI. We can just go
all
on
this
and
stuff.
on.
You need a class.
It seems like it's easier to say that, but it's actually more difficult when you say that. Somebody doesn't get it. Now the next 5 words you say, they're trying to figure out what that meant before they even hear what you're saying. So
I'm telling you, I think that you can put together a panel. If anybody can put together a panel, too. But you can put together a panel, and it'd be a 40-minute session of just, hey, come for acronym training. Everybody come, learn these acronyms. You know.
28 people at one time today. So if you're watching this live, that's my section of solutions. I have 28 people going through all of these different things where you can come and just sit down and ask the question. Find out specifically what does that actually mean, or maybe you need a strategy. Or, the other thing I personally find at a conference, there's a spot where we mix, right? So I go with the intent to learn something in a session. And perhaps I go back to my room and I'm like, okay, I got this figured out, I'm going to do it, and then it doesn't work. Or, there's a line of people trying to ask that person questions afterwards, and there's no time.
Right.
And then I try to go back and find you in this expo hall that's amazing, but typically the people at the station are salespeople, so they may not fully have the education yet to answer the question. So this session is literally so dealers can come in, sit down with vendors, sit down with other dealers, and ask questions and strategize so that they can come back out here into this crazy world of the expo hall and actually get a strategy, a done deal, check mark.
I love that, and I think it's a great idea. I know a bunch of the people who are in that panel, and you brought a lot of experts.
That's one of them.
We got Aaron Sheeks, who's right here. He's the CEO of PureCars. He's going to be on there, and Aaron has a wealth of knowledge, and that's just one person. There's so many to name, and the best part, what I love about that is that it's no one's in there. There are a lot of them are competitors in a lot of ways, but they're in there to share information for you dealers. It's important that we get you understanding what it is. It makes it easier for us to explain our products, right? So when we can educate and empower you, it's definitely going to make you feel so much more encouraged to go out and talk to vendors and be able to speak their language and not feel like you're dumb. I think ignorance is bliss, but Also, it's a reason why we get held back, right? I don't like to use word you're saying dumb dealers or even as vendors or even salespeople. What I'm saying is that we just don't know. I mean, I'm keeping it simple, right? Like if we don't know, we just don't go. So if you do know, you'll start to go that way. So it's important that we go in this direction. It's not just for your dealership's help; it's for your community's help. They need people out there that are going to speak their language so that they can be. The worst thing in the world is when a customer comes in, has no idea what they're doing, but they're forced to buy because that's the only place that they know they can get it done, and then they leave and they feel like they had a very incomplete experience where they felt with question marks everywhere. So guess what? They're probably not coming back to your store the next time, right? So it's important that we keep speaking to people at the level where they can understand the words that we're speaking and know what it really is going to give them a benefit from. So I love that stuff. I'm glad that you're doing
And
this.
then I think there's also accountability that comes with
Oh,
that. I think that, you know, dealers, unfortunately, a lot of times, because we don't take the time to pause and come and educate ourselves and come to these kinds of things, we're left kind of thrown to the wolves. And, you know, people come in and sell things and they don't know what questions to ask. They don't know how to hold the vendor accountable to what the expectations are. So I think that's another level of it. You know,
Absolutely.
the key point of it all is also learn those things so that you're making sure you're getting what you're paying for, and you actually have a good strategy and a partner that really. I just gotta say, like, I am so humbled by the fact that all these amazing people said yes. I mean, I literally have the top dealer partners. I have literally the owner, the CEO, or the president. I have all the people who genuinely can change our industry, right? So if something's not working, they can actually go back and fix it. I think it's also very powerful is having that opportunity to say, hey, I didn't look at it from the dealer's perspective. I can now go back and make an adjustment in my product that will make their life simple.
So, and that's exactly what we're even doing in this booth, right? Speaking of getting what you paid for, the whole reason PureCars has us teamed up with them is to be able to convey that language of dealership talk to their people so that they understand what is being worried about, what is being the kind of the glitches or maybe the snags inside of the business, to get them saying, oh, wait a minute, you mean they don't care about this? They do care about that?
Right.
How would you go about talking to them about this? All of these different things are the intentionality that a car guy inside of a vendor business is now starting to say they need to know what I know as a car guy, but I don't want to convey to them. And us, we're real boots on the ground. You take the time out of your busy dealership life to come out here to be intentional about learning, meeting people, having the conversations, and then conveying what it is that you're seeing. What do you feel is one of the biggest things that's happening right now with understanding that, yes, interest rates to still product supply, but what is the issue that right now is happening inside of stores that has dealers kind of reaching for help or shutting the door and just saying, we're going to just try to figure this out and get it handled? What do you feel like are some of the biggest things?
I think there's a massive vibe of desperation right now.
Desperation? Come here. Lori. So we're going to cheer over. Lori Holder, jump up here. Jump up.
Like,
So good to see you. So good to see you.
she is the best. Like, I tell people this all the time, and I'm going to put it out there to all the universe right now. Lori Halter literally is huge. Like, she is literally the woman that pushed me out there, lifted me up. We talk about the people in this industry. She is the real.
Literally, every time I have a chance, and usually I always know that I'm probably going to get a message or a call from Lori about a week or two before an event, because she's always trying to connect us with people. Like, she'll say, hey, Fred, what do you think about doing this or that? And I'm always like, yes. Anything that she throws at me, I want to take, because she has a very good perspective. She sees what's going on out there. So we love you, Lori, so much. She's always connected us with you and so many others, right? And she's going to never stop doing that. And that's what makes her so special and such a great asset to our business. There's so many amazing women in this industry, folks. We need to talk about this more. I'm so glad that there is more talk about it, but we need to keep going. Women like you and Lori, oh, you guys make me so proud. Like, and then we had Courtney sitting here a little bit ago, who's just a rising star too. I'm so proud of all these women doing things and taking stages, putting panels together. And like Lou said, you are the master of getting people to get together to share information both, right? Here's the thing: the more that we give as vendors, the more that we give as dealers, the more that we give as people, the more that we're going to get back in life. You know, it's not about the get back, but man, it feels good when you do get something back. When you're constantly putting good out, and then you get even if it's just one little sip of good back, it's so worth it.
Well, so here's the thing: sales at the core, and this is something as I was doing sales. You know, to your question, at the core, I was telling everybody last week. I said, look, you have to give to get. I made them write it down, and it was like that every time we talk about for the next little layer, I said, okay, you have to give to get. You haven't earned the right to ask for the sale until you've given enough, whether it's value or what have you. If I'm going to try to go acquire a vehicle out of service, I need to provide something to that customer first. Maybe offer a redelivery or even something as simple as a coffee. Like those things go a long way.
Right.
But you don't just go in there and say, hey, give me. No, you need to earn the price. So you have to give to get. And I think that even as vendors or any other relationship you have, even with our spouses, right?
Yep.
We have to give to get. And I just feel like that's in one sentence you can really strategize so much in your life just by living that. So I really try. But in the stores right now, desperation is seeping everywhere. You know, you got a little bit of the negativity going on. A lot of people are very scared and skeptical. We just have an industry right now of people who don't have a lot of experience. Like there's so many people that just never have been through a massive economic, upside downness, and it's creating a lot of fear, desperation, these kind of things. So now it's like turn off presses, shut down, bury the action on one side. On the other side, it's like, okay, what do we have to do? Can we train? Can we do this? What, grasping at straws and trying to learn things. The biggest thing that everyone really needs to do, take a deep breath. Right?
Yes.
Take a deep breath.
Yes.
Reset the nervous system. Sit down. Don't assume everyone's out to get you.
That's right.
Right? And then have a strategy and say, what is the most important thing that's going to help us right now? And it's the basics. Don't go buy the pie in the sky. There is no solution that says, I plug this in and everything's magically going to be better. There's no fairy dust out there. If you believe that there is, I am selling it. I'll give you a good price.
She's got a deal on it right now.
But there isn't. So it's all about the basics. The core basics, it's sales fundamentals. It's, helping these guys have the right foundation. And then also the right mentality. And that's something that you guys do a great job with. But I don't even start training sales skills until I make sure that their mind is ready and open to actually receive it. Because if they have it just blocked off, you can't get through that. You can't train a brain that doesn't have to be trained.
You're 100%. It's the unwilling they won't do it. They have to be ready for it. And when you can find those people, that's kind of like, to me, that's my hiring strategy. It's not necessarily the skill set. It's their mindset. If they have the right mindset through the questions that I ask and through the tasks that I ask them to do during interviews, I'm like, we have something here. I could teach them skill. I could teach them how to sell a car. I could teach them how to be a customer service rep. Or I could teach them how to do all these things. But can I teach them to have that once? To actually want to put people in front of themselves, to be fulfilled instead of being transactional. I think that's a huge part of what we need to do. And that's why people like you leading the way, talking about this stuff and hearing that and knowing that if we do this, it's going to be better. If we do this, the future of automotive, the future of people will be better. We need to teach the skill set at a young age, like in our homes, right? We need to make sure people understand that you only get your life to get out there. You'll never get back something just because you get lucky once in a while. But at the end of the day, if you do it all the time, you're consistent with putting love out there, you're consistently with just giving and knowing that, the get back will be there, but just keep giving. Do it with love.
Listen, thank you goes a long way. Like just literally treating little people.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like that alone is something that is so frustrating. But one of the big tips that I kind of shared with my whole team, I read a book in 2008 when the housing crashed.
Oh wow, yeah.
That was one of the hardest ones for us in Arizona because we got hit hard. And I had a team of Greenpeace, and mentally they went from literally getting $4 to $5 a day to one up every 4 or 5 weeks. And you want to talk about panic, right? And you start telling them, hey, let's do this, let's do that, but they're not mentally ready to try different things. They'd rather just stomp their feet and say, but
This is how it was. This
And
job
so,
sucks.
as a team, we read the book Who Moved My Cheese. As a team,
that was a great way
one
to do it.
chapter every day, talked about it, changed the mind. And so this last week, as I was doing training, I said, look, I want you all to read it. If you've read it, read it again. It's a little book, so even those that hate reading, no big deal. And if you really hate reading, it's on Audible, so there's no reason not to. Like I like to read a lot. Not everybody does, but it is one that I think is so powerful right now to set the stage for being willing to try different things. There's still a lot of cheese out there.
Oh, is there?
We just have to change our strategy on how we're going to go about getting it. We can't just sit back and wait for the cheese to come to us.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
now got to go find it.
You gotta find it, but if you can master both sides of that, like be really good with the cheese that comes to you, but also be able to be a master of finding more cheese, your life will always be well-rounded. You'll always have business, a book of business. You'll always have clients coming to you. But it's important that we don't just rely on what others are giving us. Once again, it's about what we give. I want what people give me, yes, but I also want to go out and get my own. That's called fulfillment, right? That's called excitement. That's called growth. And that's called living a life that gives you some financial freedom, my friends. And this business, this automotive industry that we're in, provides financial freedom, which only to the ones who put the work behind it. Right? So put the work behind it. Do the right things, and don't rest on your laurels. Don't expect the dealer to feed. They're going to give you some. But find your own. There's nothing better than sitting at the end of the month and say, hey, I sold 25 cars, but half of these were my own leads that I developed. And
your own personal brand, right? Like you guys have done the most amazing job with that. You've literally built an amazing personal brand, and there's no reason that a salesperson inside of the dealership can't do that for themselves.
So
Exactly.
So with that, I mean, you're saying so much, and it's so good. But with everything that we're hearing and you're cooking, I mean, whether it's a salesperson or it's leadership, each of them have a choice. We can choose to participate in the recession, in any calamity. Now, government coming in and saying you can't go to work, that's something we never seen. But in these positions that we're in any time, we're always telling people, hey, whatever the calamity was of this year, next year, we're going to have a whole new challenge. It's going to be a whole new thing. And we can decide where our attitude is. The understanding that we either feed our fears or we can encourage through education, grabbing that book, learning a little bit of something, becoming a little bit better at what we do, or we can keep feeding the big fear monster that's coming to attack us, it's coming to get us, right? But if you're in an education position where you're learning and you're encouraged, every time that you learn a little something, you're a little more encouraged. You feel a little bit stronger. You feel a little more ready to take on the day. Encourage your people, educate your people, and that will empower your people. Or you're just going to empower the big bad fear monster that is really just your decisions, our decisions, to sit still, to let it happen to us. And it's so freeing when you realize I don't have to be a part of that. You know what I mean? I don't have to do that.
100%. And that actually, just say I'm getting ready to start my 27th year in automotive, and I was
She's only 27 years old, though. How is that possible?
She was born into this.
You were born the day she started.
But I
Came out with keys.
I genuinely love this business for exactly what you said. It was the one business I said I'm never gonna get bored.
Yeah.
My effort and attitude will be my paycheck.
Come on.
Right?
I love that.
And so that's what this is all about, and that's why this is the best industry in the world, is because I am basically my own entrepreneur without the risk of being an entrepreneur by being part of it.
Oh, so true. You are preaching what we preach to every salesperson we meet.
But speaking of paychecks, just real quick, because some people may not know, Dusty, we appreciate you watching, brother. Thank you so much for
he said
talking about us
being
being
humans.
an incredible human.
What's up, Dusty?
But with that, because you do get to kind of do what it is you do, what is it that you do? You're in this position that the automotive industry is just now starting to really recognize they need it. I served in that role without having a title behind it, but help us understand what's the position that you do and why more dealers need somebody that's equipped like you.
Well, you know, it's kind of a funny story. When I first went to Horn Auto Group, they were interviewing me for general manager position, and I said, I'm not really interested in that kind of role anymore. And they said, really? And I said, yeah. Let me tell you what you need. I lined out my job for them, and said, this is you. They're growing. I have a company that's growing. They're adding more dealerships. They need to build internet departments. You need to understand marketing. You need somebody that can understand how these things work and speak the language of the general manager in the GP. And so I basically created this shop, and they agreed with me. And so they said, okay, well, how about you come into the internet department at our new stores, build it, let's get to know each other. And then 8 months later, they brought me up to the group. And now I get the opportunity to have my hands in everything. Here's what I've come to realize. Because I've done so many different jobs in the industry, I know a little bit about a lot. I don't know a lot about the right. So I lean on the people who know a lot in one specific area because they can help me get it to the finish line. But I know enough to write. I know enough to hold accountability.
And that's what a leader does. A leader surrounds themselves with people that are A in departments they're B's in, and then they use them to help. I shouldn't say use them. They apply them to be able to make it better for everyone. So when you do that, everyone feels elevated. Everyone feels fulfilled, like they're worth something, right? It's so massive. But like you said, knowing a little bit's really important in the position you're at. If you know enough to be able to ask the right questions and know if they're bullcrapping you or not, especially, right? That's massive.
And then strategize, right? Yes. Because I think a lot of times we stay so in one little area, and you don't realize how the baton passes from this department or this person to person.
Oh, yeah.
So having having enough knowledge where I can look at the whole spectrum, right? I'm not just looking at this one little piece. I'm looking at the entire spectrum to make sure that nothing's going to break as it's going through the whole process.
I love that.
So, not technically an operations manager, but more a strategy manager.
Which entails all of that, really. And I see that. I can see yourself getting more involved because, like anything else, you stretch out, you've got this going, and you're like, oh, I could do more. Right? And you are able to do more. And you're now, and you do so much, now you're sharing it with the automotive industry. So I want to thank you.
You have to get, my friend.
Right. That's right. That's right.
So, but I want to thank you for all that you bring to the industry. I want to thank you for all the information and the way that you gather people together. You are a uniter, much like Gloria is a uniter. You are just taking that role on, and I'm telling you, you are doing some big things. I'm very proud to be able to say you're my friend. My wife thinks she's amazing too, so my wife has a great judgment. So no doubt. So.
Well, you know what to do as we finish off one of these. We got to forget Focus Fly so we can keep growing. Folks, if you want to know more about this incredible solution, make sure that you reach out to her. Make sure that you blow her up after the show and let her know that you're encouraged. We can sit here and talk to her all day. Oh, yeah. She has such an incredible
this is just literally like a little drop of the information she can get, guys.
It's a tiny shot, a little espresso shot, that's all. But one of the bigger shows that we've done so far while being here. But you are one of the superstars of this entire event that we're honored to take a few moments to be
I'm so humbled.
We're so thankful for you.
I can't even express.
Well, with that, let's fly, everybody, on 3. 1, 2, 3, forgive. Focus, fly, and keep growing, keep growing. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I'm Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
I'm Ferlin Artsup. I'm here.
And I'm April Simmons here with my besties.
That's right. Love it. Well, she is the one,
the only
April Simmons. That's right, everybody. We will see you later.